Hello and welcome to Tyrannus Gaming. Today we're going to discuss how to mod Saryn for Steel Path. There's no sane way to do this where I don't confuse everyone watching, so we'll show off our build here, and then show what it's capable of. After this, we'll discuss my two favorite builds, one for her intended purpose, and one that does require you to reach the end of the game to achieve. That's as of 2025 of this particular month. Let's hop right into this. This is how my Saryn is built. This particular build requires 13% duration in order to make miasma last forever with a single use. The efficiency is 160% to allow us to spam our fourth every 6 seconds to keep enemies staggered, our spore spreading, and to keep up our viral procs. Our range is 265% to ensure that we can clear rooms, the nearby rooms, and the rooms of the nearby rooms, including the bathrooms. Lastly, we have strength at 142%. With Archon Intensify proccing off our second ability, the Mult augmented getting stronger as we get kills, this means that our strength will increase to 232%, putting our spore status chance at over 100%. With 2 green Archon shards, we've given our spores the ability to armor strip, which means our miasma's viral procs will do full damage. I have 2 red Archon shards for 20% ability strength, and a 3rd green Archon shard to allow us to restore health every time we inflict toxin procs. Sometimes it's important to take breaths in between takes. The only downside to this build is that on normal gameplay, it will wipe the map clean. However, on higher level maps, this build solely functions as support in priming targets with armor strip and viral procs. This means that we need really good weapons to take advantage of this on the Steel Path. You can use whatever weapons you want, but this first build is going to rely on things the game hands you. I won't be showing nuanced builds at the moment, as this video is about modding weapons. Oh, it's not about modding weapons. It's about modding Saryn. Nor is this about where to find the mods. We'll be demonstrating the Nautaruk, the Grimoire, and the Rumblejack. All 3 of these are given to you for free as you progress through the story mode. My Nautaruk is designed for linear destruction. This means that it will clear hallways or destroy a single target. My Grimoire is designed to support my current Saryn build, so it plays well off of her. My Rumblejack here is designed to stunlock a room and augment my status effects, allowing me to consistently clear rooms more efficiently. However, the major downside with this build is that it's quite squishy. Remember, the point is not to min-max the ability to stand in front of gunfire because you'd be an idiot to do so. The goal is to survive indirect fire and hide yourself in such a manner, or to move through the enemy in such a manner, that they can't do that to you. Because if you're standing still, you're an idiot. Because remember, these guys are Steel Path, so don't be stupid. If you cast Mult, you will notice that they die instantly, and that is because we have no ability strength. But you will also notice that the simple act of casting Mult keeps us alive even longer, and that's because they're not shooting us. The reason they're not shooting us is because we're simply distracting them. You will also notice that I'm not standing in particularly one spot for very long. However, as you will know, if we die instantly, our energy regeneration doesn't mean jack squat. So the moment you start getting hit, cast your number 2 immediately, and get the heck out of the way. Alright, I think I made my point. Alright, let's demonstrate a lore-accurate Saryn. Huh? They died a lot faster than I was expecting them to. Oh wait, that wasn't in the script. Well, regardless, this is a lore-accurate Saryn, but it's not my preferential build, so let's take our lore-accurate Saryn into a survival mission and see how she does. No, I don't have 6 hours to dedicate to getting to level 9,999, so you'll have to offer up your own personal anecdotes in the comments section. Thank you for watching.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
You exist to strike. You strike to win. The lesson ends.
For those of you with a keen eye, you can tell this wasn't a clean run, and I'll admit that a lore-accurate Saryn isn't my ideal build. What I'm about to show you, though, actually is, and one I've run with quite frequently. So let's make this a very quick demonstration, and I'll run you through the mods faster than I did with the previous build, so we can all go back to doom scrolling on not TikTok.
The Orican Neural Sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support. All manner of Orican technology may work here due to the Circulus's proximity. If you have a necromech, you may use it. If they scan you, sentient fighters won't be far behind. They know you're here. Prepare for sentient fighters. Hold out, the deeper I can search. But if you need to leave, extraction is ready. Void manifestations, drawn to this cursed place of stolen lives. They will drain your life support unless they are destroyed.
Was greater. This is good.
So I just want to point out that I did a whole segment on this, what I'm about to show you, and I forgot to hit the record button. Yeah, woe is me. Anyway, so if you look at the bottom right, we happen to have 3 Tau-Forged Archon shards and 2 blues to add passive health regeneration. Aside from that, we also have additional burst health regeneration from our toxin, and we have corrosive status by +3 for stacks. Anyway, the point is we also have Nourish. I am not refilming this for the 8th time. You will happen to notice that it has a 2.84 times energy multiplier. And that's because we have this particular build here. Energy Nexus will be amplified, and so will any incoming energy orbs. This means that between Nourish and Energy Nexus, we have virtually unlimited energy regeneration. And given the fact that we also have Brief Respite, it means that we can pretty much gain infinite shield gating by simply spamming Molt. And yes, this does work quite well if you happen to have the School Zeneric. Reason being is because theoretically you can pop up to 20 energy regeneration in some maps. Now, we also have our reliable Sobek here that utilizes acid shells that scales off of our Toxic Lash. That's what you were seeing when you saw enemies blow up, spread, blow up some more, and spread and blow up again. It had nothing to do with Saryn's 4th ability, and it had very little to nothing to do with spores. In fact, I don't think we used spores once in that demonstration. And in a 5-minute period, we still managed to get, well, if I had played for a full 12 minutes like I did with the other one, well, we would have ended up with effectively the same kill count. Pretty wild, right? Now check this out. I also have my Lex here. This thing is specifically built to annihilate a room. Toxic Lash does forced toxin procs, which means that this has a 1 in 5 chance every time I pull the trigger to proc a random second effect. This is very important because sometimes you can proc some pretty crazy stuff. And by the way, I'm pretty certain this procs bleed. Don't know, didn't test it, don't care. The point is, if we go over here to the Magistar, remember what I said about Force Toxin procs? You may think right here that we would normally do roughly around 1100 damage. Well, 10% of that I think, or 30%. The point is, we do about 300 toxin damage each second for 6 seconds. However, due to the fact that our slam damage is 8700, well, that scales roughly around 2400 damage. Up to 800 to 2400 damage if it's 30%. Anyway, the point is I'm not good at math. Anyway, and that's per second, every second, for 6 seconds. If we consider that Saxon Thorax... Oh, the Magistar, when you strike the ground, yeah, it lifts the enemy. That means that Saxon Thorax here says lifted enemies explode on death, dealing 10% enemy max health as impact damage in a 4-meter radius. I, for the life of me, cannot get the other Saxon mods, but if you manage to get all 3 of them, it does some pretty comical things with the Magistar and Saryn. You will also notice that we have Straven Infection, which further increases our damage, Weeping Wounds, which increases our status chance, and then we also have Galvanized Elementalist here, which further increases status chance and status damage, doubling whatever damage we do. Between that and Galvanized Steel, also increasing our critical damage, and Galvanized Reflex giving us initial combo, allowing us to keep using Weeping Wounds over and over again, it means that the first hit may not kill them, but the second one definitely will. That's because Melee Afflictions here says, enemies affected by status effect gains 6 additional stacks when they're knocked down or flung by melee attacks. This means that if the initial hit doesn't kill them, this definitely will, and if the second hit doesn't kill them, what the hell are you fighting? Seriously, that would be wild. I've insta-killed quite a few things with this. In a controlled environment, granted, but there's pretty much nothing that survived in the open world. I also just want to point out there's a couple other effects with this weapon. Your heavy attacks heal you, and, well, you gain 20% status effect resistance, naturally. That, mixed with Molt, means that we're basically immortal. Anyway, this also does double slam damage, so it's an 18-meter radius, coupled with this particular weapon's massive 15-meter radius, and the Lex Prime's ability to clear entire hallways means that we're basically unstoppable. Now, I know this wasn't a how to mod every weapon, and not really my entire build, but since we started this, I'm going to show you something. The class we were utilizing over here was actually Moderai. Moderai here gains several bonuses that actually allows you to one-shot angels on Steel Path, as well as virtually any other super enemy that requires your operator. This basically trivializes most of the game. Between that and Saryn's abilities, you can effectively one-shot everything on the Steel Path node chart and have virtually no resistance regardless of what you do. In fact, sometimes it's quite boring. If we go over here, our pet has this particular loadout. For those of you that don't know, we have Duplex Bond, Momentous Bond, Vicious Bond, and Contagious Bond. Between these, it means that we can effectively clear entire rooms just with the pet alone. And yes, even though it blows up and covers a 9-meter radius, if that enemy dies, he too will possibly cover another 9-meter radius. In fact, the spread's so damn fast sometimes, it pretty much looks like you were, well, using the other build that I showed you on Saryn. It gets pretty wild sometimes. Especially considering that we have Shocking Claws allowing us to electrify an entire room, and we have Precision Conditioning allow us to bleed whatever he happens to hit directly. These two do not conflict with each other, nor does it conflict with Toxic Injection. Innate 25% toxic damage independent from any other elemental damage types. That means that we have 3 status types. And if we consider others, we have Puncture, Impact, and Magnetic being forced. And with Immunity Resistance, we gain 50% more damage. If we also consider that Strain, Fever, and Hunter Synergy pretty much scale well, that means we can do bonkers amounts of damage. And considering all of the 4 status procs we have, Cull the Weak does exactly what it says it does. It culls the weak. And if you can't kill it with the normal ones, a non-critical hit will do 240% damage. That's why it's important to have very low critical chance. Yeah, this is, yeah. He's a good dog. He's a good boy. Look at him. Oh, he's good. Oh, wait, that's a girl. It's a good day, then. Yeah, that's a good day, then. Don't cancel me.
Something tangible.